You're welcome back. This is the Signature Morning on Signature Television. You have been, hanging out there with us, and of course, we'll be moving ahead to another segment where we'll be discussing increased women involvement in drug trafficking. Yes, and this morning we have in our studio Olunwa. I hope I get that right. Ibezim, that's the Deputy Commander, Ndlea, Enugu State Command. Welcome, sir. I hope I didn't murder your name anyways.
It's permissible.
Good morning and welcome, sir. Okay, we'll be having this trend, of course, even in our newspaper headlines. We had yesterday, yes, woman involvement in drug trafficking, about 9 billion naira, what, I don't know. So I want to actually ask, what is happening? What's the new trend? How are you seeing the new trend? Is it that this is a new way, for people to get out of hardship and hunger?
Thank you very much. I consider my being here not just a mere coincidence, but very timely. And I just want to say straight out that it's not necessary for us to start playing the ostrich and pretend it's not happening. It is terrible. And unfortunately, those things we hold very dear. Women are custodians of our values. Is grossly being eroded. And these days, we're getting more and more disturbing news of women overtaking men in the drug business. But I want to equally tell you that it did not start today. It's been a trend that we have not taken seriously. Unfortunately, in Edo and Delta, we do apologies to those affected. Most homes you go to, the families rally around and send their daughters abroad to go and sell drugs. Italy, Germany, the statistics are there. In fact, for those that have not been able to send their daughters to those countries, they are being attacked negatively of not keying into the investment. And you will agree with me that this issue of codeine and tramadol, how was it discovered that it was a problem? It was amongst a gathering of a prominent Kano politician that was having a get-together in his house. Then, of course, the women will gather somewhere. So while they were gathering and enjoying, phone was missing. So they said, no, they need to search for the phone. In the course of the search, the law enforcement people discovered that the women had large quantities of codeine and this cough syrup laced with codeine. And the enormity of it was so much, it could not be concealed. That was when the alarm came out. And they started checking why the codeine, why the cough syrup with codeine. They now saw that when consumed, that it keeps them on, since they can't smoke or drink. So within themselves, they consume codeine. Cough syrup with codeine. And they now looked at the statistics. It was brought to the house, the problem, and they now did a survey and discovered that daily 2 million women in Kano take drugs, especially the codeine and tramadol. Then in Jigawa, every day, 1 million women, as it is, as I'm talking with you. Is that not disturbing? It's disturbing.
Well, I'm stunned by these revelations that you're putting.
You have to. You should.
What does it help them do? And secondly, I just wanted to find out again, because maybe I missed that particular line you said. This was how tramadol and syrup was found out to be prevalent amongst youths in the north? Is it a
Amongst
recent
women.
amongst women? Is it a recent happening? When was this?
That was 2008.
2008.
2008 is 2018. Sorry,
2018.
2018.
This was how Ndlea found out that women take these drugs.
This is how the whole society of Nigeria found out. Not only Ndlea, but we took it a step further and started, first of all, by pursuing legislation for it to be a controlled substance when we knew it was actually a problem. And it was substance subject to high abuse and intoxication.
So what does it help these women do?
I'm not a woman. And I don't take tramadol, but from the interviews and those we have prosecuted, is another way of getting high.
Just to get high?
Well, the same reason. People take cannabis. People take methamphetamine. There's crystal ice in our local palace, Oromil. You know, the legislation are three men, with due apologies too, in the north. The women are not, because of the religion, they are not allowed certain things. But within them and their cluster, the way they discovered that this thing, that they could use it to get high, I don't know. But as I tell you, the whole northern states, they have taken it to the floor of the House of Assembly. And what is required is to create effective awareness on the dangers. Because some of these women don't know.
The dangers?
The dangers, definitely. They don't know. So they just take it because, the women are always together and it's a social gathering. And they do it. So the northern senators and House of, I think one Alaji Dodo, if I'm not mistaken, brought it to the House, and over 40 something members put it up, that there is need to really, really look into it. Imagine consuming 2 million of tramadol every day in a state.
Every day.
So it's quite disturbing.
Wow.
Can you provide the type of the profiles? Is it per age? What age do you think?
Okay, between the ages of 16 to 45.
Wow.
These are the healthy, working
Women.
and viable age being destroyed.
I mean, to look at it from a broader perspective, I mean, Kano is a very religious state. And of course, for a woman at that period, usually on their hijab, and then you wonder, this number is quite shocking to have never heard a thing like this before. But I'm just wondering, you said Kano is 2 million, Jigawa is 1 million, and I'm wondering, what would Lagos be? What would a place like Oyo be, and what would a place like Rivers be? It's actually a problem. Where do we go from here?
Beautiful. I'll just briefly give you a practical experience. When I discovered what I did, unfortunately, I went into the inner part of my office. I cried. I've always been on the side of operations before I got into counseling. Incidentally, I was head of Strike Force, Lagos State. On this fateful day, we went for operations. Usually I lead my operations. We arrested a young girl somewhere around Ojodu. Ojodu. We were arrested in a joint. We went to raid a joint. And in the joint, we arrested a girl amongst other young men. When we got to my office, we now discovered that this girl, as at then, was 16 years old, 15 plus. And she was in a boarding school somewhere around there. It was on a Friday. She went on that Friday to stay with the boyfriend, whom we equally arrested. That night, she followed the boyfriend to go and buy cannabis, which she said she's been smoking for the past 2 years. Wow. At 15 plus. And watch out, she was built to ride jump the next day, Saturday. And I now asked her, your parents, are they aware? She said no. And as I down, the only daughter, that if we let the parents know that the mother will commit suicide. I was now left between my professional ethics and the human side of it. And I said, well, you don't throw away the baby with the dirty water. I recommended to my commander, let us give her administrative bail. Let her go and write her jump. We held the boyfriend down because of the quantity of cannabis we saw with him. We collected the details. She wrote jump the next day. We now traced the mom and called her. She came to office at Ikeja, Nako. We asked her to ask the daughter to come. They now went to bring the daughter. When they brought the daughter to office, the girl almost passed out. But we didn't have any choice but to open up to the mother. And the mother was shocked. So from this scenario, 15 or 16-year-old girl, secondary school. I'm not a politician, and I've never ascribed to be one. There's something the First Lady of Enugu State has initiated and is working. She says it's a foundation for the girl child. Costos Foundation. And not less than 2 times, June 26th, she partnered with us to get a lot of girls from the secondary school to do a sensitization roadwork. Positive. Thumbs up for her. But it goes much more than that. So she needs to step up on it and not leave it to her aides. But what impressed me was that she was part of that road walk from beginning to end. I was actually impressed. And since then, for whatever reasons, she has not gotten across to us. But I will equally advise that she puts her people on ground. The drug menace, let us narrow it down to Enugu. For the girl child, it is bad enough.
It is.
As I speak with you, a recent survey says that as of today, over 400,000 youths in Enugu are abusing drugs.
400,000.
400,000 now. According to P2B, the records are there. Go and verify. These things are domiciled in public domain. They are not, we don't have reasons to falsify or exaggerate figures. But
By youth, you mean both men and women, both boys
both
and
men
girls?
and women.
Okay.
But I want to tell you that amongst this figure, about 48% are women.
Wow.
48% in Enugu State. And unfortunately, it has You know, when something bad crops up, it becomes a multi-headed hydra. Drug abuse now has given birth to cultism amongst girls in secondary schools. I wouldn't want to name the schools for obvious reasons. But the mechanism the state government have, they should be able to identify such schools in Enugu
Well, you're
State.
partnering with the
You're
First
the
Lady. I mean, you
deputy,
should
yeah.
have just mentioned it to her. And so,
I said
For investigation
the
purposes.
partnership about 2 times road work. And I said since then, they have not gotten
reached out.
to Ndlea.
So-
It's something that needs to be,
The-
is a routine thing.
routine.
It's not, it's a routine thing. I have my job to do. I don't think it will be
Yes.
proper for me every day. I go and start hanging around government house. Oh, no, I can't
Okay,
do
so
that.
let's talk about the role of Ndlea. What measures are you putting in place, to address this rising involvement of women in trafficking of drugs?
Thank you very much. I would have been disappointed if you didn't ask me. I want to tell you for free that we are very much on top of it. As I speak with you, the Honorable Chairman Chief Executive, Brigadier General Buba Marwa, have put up a 5-year drug control master plan scheme from 2000, old age, to 2021 to 2025.
26.
Or
Okay.
say, 5-year master plan. And the aim, just like this year's United Nations theme, we want to deal more on counseling. It is cheaper to counsel people, let them know the dangers of drugs, than to arrest and use taxpayers' money and prosecute. And that is the 80% vision of the Honorable Chairman, which my state commander is 100% has keyed in. Mr. Abel Sunu Wadahi, Commander of Narcotics, Enugu State Commander. He has made sure that at least every week we carry out a minimum of 5 sensitization in schools and major parts of Enugu State from our meager resources from Ndlea. I don't know if you understand what I've
Yeah,
said.
I'll get you.
From the little, maybe, allowances to run his office, he uses it to do sensitization, at least 5 every week, which is part of what I'm doing here. He fueled the Jeep and made sure we have come. So what I will suggest, we are not really keen on stuffing our cells with suspects. We are more interested in letting people know the dangers embedded, inherent in this hideous crime. And we are succeeding. Initially, we had State Drug Abuse Control Committee, which the First Lady is heading. But it has not been very active, not only in Enugu State, but across. And they now looked, what do we do? The chairman have now trickled it down to local government drug abuse control committee, with the wife of the local government chairpersons as head. Then the women leaders, councillors, traditional rulers, religious leaders, and all that. So the thing is trickling down to almost the nooks and crannies. Fortunately, before this is my little promotion, I was the immediate past area commander, Oji River. And before it was comprising of 2 or 3 local governments. But the chairman is saying no. That for us to make effective impact, all the local governments now must have NDLE officers.
Okay.
And it's paying. And a tasking order too, that all the area command must carry out sensitization in schools and relevant places.
I just wanted to ask this because, again, many people in some quarters will say that the fight against drug abuse is one that is, yes, important, but it does look like it will not really yield the fruit, maximum fruit, that more people are being exposed to drug every single day. They gave example of, for instance, US, UK, in other countries where you can buy cannabis across the counter. And even the governor of Ondo State, God bless his soul, Akeredolu, at some point was advocating for, to legalize drugs. I mean,
and there's another person you have not mentioned, Showore. No, I mean, this is the public domain.
Yes.
Showore is an advocate, yes.
So I'm just wondering, like, to what extent, really, how is the NDLA, reacting to that thought about legalizing a drug, and at the same time, because again, so there are some aspects of that drug that is used to even do our medicine today. So I'm just wondering, how is the NDLA reacting to these?
Beautiful. I will equally tell you categorically, without missing words, we are totally against legalizing those things they call medical cannabis or whatever. The reasons are simple. We don't have the mechanisms to control. We don't have. And it's subject to 95% abuse. They will have put legislation and it's been abused. When you now remove some of these legislations, then but again, they say like corruption. Corruption has become endemic. It has fortified itself. It has bulletproof. That is how the drug war was before now. Unfortunately, there were instances where we're seeing connivance and all that, and drug barons succeeding, until this chairman came. I'm not patronizing. The records are what? Are there. Go and verify. Recently, and it cumulates from the statistics we have, and the arrest. You're the one that mentioned the arrest of 9 billion substance. I want to equally inform you of the Canadian woman, Munjo, arrested with about 74 parcels, and Annette Munjo, a Canadian citizen. And the reason, she was recruited online from an online platform for 10,000 Canadian dollars. And what was her reason for doing this? To further her master's degree program in Canada. Wow. And what does it tell us? That we should be careful. The kind of platform we're engaging. And maybe this person has equally promised her, I will marry you. Just do this. So the women should stop being gullible. They should stop being desperate. And look at somebody doing masters. What stops you from working and apply for grants and aid, knowing fully well that immediately you graduate, you will benefit.
Okay, let's talk about the woman actually, and of course all the other people who have been, arrested. What legal framework are in place, to deal with the women caught in trafficking? Are there rehabilitation, reintegration programs? What have you guys done, to deal with those women that have been caught already?
Do you know, I'm very happy with you with the questions you're asking. And that is what I would have talked about if you didn't ask me. We have a rehabilitation center in Enugu, 100% funded by Ndlea.
Okay.
Wow.
We invite people to come and...
Where is it located?
In my office, in our office.
Okay.
Okay.
But then, it's a small rehab that accommodates maximum of 20 people. But sometimes it's overstretched, and we say, okay, because sometimes parents will come and cry. Prominent parents from Enugu State. One of them touched my heart yesterday, a retired justice. I will not want to mention his name.
Wow.
For very obvious reasons. Retired. The man was shedding tears. His only son. And a lawyer too. You understand? Retired justice emeritus. Crying. So sometimes, when you don't do, that is why I said some overstretched. And the traffic is on a daily basis. We have spoken with the government. And we have not gotten a response. Well, that's just the truth. And every day, if you think I'm joking or I'm exaggerating, send one of your staff to come from 8 o'clock and just sit in my office till 2 o'clock. A minimum of 10 parents come every day. And the facilities are small. And it's only for men. A lot of women are coming. Some will walk to us. Please, I'm on drugs. I want to be rehabilitated. And we tell them, you cannot stay with men. And we turn them back.
Wow.
We turn them back. While we go to the extent of giving them counseling, sometimes we tell them, come from home.
Okay.
You're free to inspect the facility anytime. You're free to inspect. So it is 100% funded by Ndlea. And we are saying, give us a place. Let us give these people a second chance. Let us rehabilitate them a little. I don't think it costs much. Some of the senators will come to our office when their wards have problems. They will promise heaven and earth. Some will even say, yes, I will not set it up in your office, I will set it up in my constituency. And the moment we rehabilitate those ones, you never see them again. And you know they are big men, I will not mention their names.
Wow.
Okay.
So sometimes there are some things you don't play politics with. And it's very unfortunate. I'm from Abia. I'm not from Enugu. But I'm here. And it pains me that we are not being responsive enough for these problems. There are wealthy individuals. When they come, bring their children, and you rehabilitate them. After 4 months, they're okay. They send them abroad and forget all the promises they have made.
Okay, thank you very much. Because of time, we'll have to let it go here, but we'll also keep on, getting in touch with you, subsequently bring you to talk more about drug. And of course,
say
trafficking.
before I go, just say Ndlea, Enugu State, we are trying. We are like the proverbial lizard. As none of you have said we are trying. We are
No,
trying.
you're doing well. You're doing well.
We know you do
Ndlea
well.
is
You do
doing
well.
well.
Trying.
Thank you very much for honoring this interview. All right, this is where we will wrap it up on this morning's edition. We'll be heading over to